Today we got a story time of a spoiled kid who thinks that he is above the law. This kid is so entitled that he believes that the law only applies to the poor peasants and doesn't apply to him because he is the king. He finds out that this is not the true. It's epic karma. I know you'll enjoy it. So sit back, relax, subscribe if you're new, and let's just jump right into it. So we're going to call the subscriber who submitted this story Clarence. So anyways, this all happened one day over the summer. So Clarence was a little bit newer to the neighborhood. He got there about a year, 6 months ago. So he was new, but he wasn't super new. So Clarence was part of this friend group with a lot of other guys, and it was a really big friend group. So they were all in 8th grade, and one thing that they liked to do was they liked to, go to the movie theater, go to the mall, and just kind of like hang out around town or whatever. And in this really large friend group, there are some people that, Clarence really liked. His best friend in this group we're going to call Ben. But there's also a kid in this group called the spoiled kid. The reason why the spoiled kid was in this friend group was literally just because everyone else there, including the spoiled kid, just have known each other for so long. So when they were little, kindergartners, man, it's really hard to tell who's the spoiled kid, who's the bad kid, whatever. So they're all just kind of hung out for the longest time together. And here's the thing, right? Because they've known each other for so long, it would have just felt weird for them to kick the kid out of the group. And they just didn't feel like that they were justified in kicking the kid out of the group. And I don't know, I think that people kind of knew this kid was a spoiled kid. But when you know someone for so long that you kind of just get over their downsides and you just kind of chill with them anyways, this is exactly what happened here. And at least for Clarence, since he didn't know the spoiled kid for literally all of his life practically, when he entered the group, he was like, dang, all these guys are chill, but who's this kid, bro? The spoiled kid is acting real weird. But anyways, right? So this story all happened one summer night. Or one summer day, I should say, not summer night. So this all happened one summer day. So anyways, right, on this summer day, all the boys were chilling together because, they live really close to each other, which is really nice. I mean, the friend group almost lived exactly in a row. I think there was a few houses in between them. But, when they'd all wake up on a summer day, after eating breakfast, they'd all go into the park that was literally just across from them. And there was these benches, and they would just sit down waiting for everyone to get there. And every single day, they'd kind of have a little team meeting or whatever, decide, okay, what are we going to do today? And so they're sitting there, and Clarence, Ben, everyone in the spoiled kids sit down. And they decide eventually that, all right, we're going to go to the mall today. We've done it a little bit, quite a few times, but also there's not a lot else we can do. Anything else that'd be fun, we kind of have to plan ahead or it's closed. So let's just go back to the mall. So they decide to go to the mall. The mall's about a 10-minute walk, so they don't have to wait or not worry, but they don't have to wait on their parents to drive them and find a time to pick them up. And their parents were really cool about them kind of going wherever they wanted to, as long as it was walking distance away and as long as they all stuck together as a group. I don't think the parents would have been cool. For example, Clarence's parents were like, hey man, we don't want you going out doing stuff all by yourself. But if you're with your group of boys, you can literally go out and do whatever you want, man. We don't really care. It's totally up to you. We're chilling, right? So anyways, they decide to go to the mall. And remember, the spoiled kid was always told that, I don't know, he just had this, era of entitlement. He kind of believed that he was, almost above everyone else, bro. Even his friends, even his boys. Clarence was picking up on it more than the other people, because I think the other people were kind of just always giving this guy the benefit of the doubt. Because, I don't know, when you've, lived with someone for so long, you're just so embracing their human. I don't know, I just feel like you know them so well that, that's just what Ben does, or that's just what Jamie does. When it's hey, yo, no, bro, he's actually the worst. But anyway, since Clarence isn't one of those people who has been with this guy for so long, he sees all the flaws, he sees all the downsides, and he's kind of picked up on this kind of air of entitlement and this air of kind of superiority. Clarence almost has a feeling that the spoiled kid actually believes that he is better than everyone else. That he actually is hanging out with the peasants and actually believes that he's royalty. Because, yeah, he comes from a family who has a little bit more money than the average family. And the thing is, I say this every single time, you can come from a family who has more money than other families. And that's kind of just the RNG luck that you spawned into a family that has more money. Hey, man, sometimes that isn't, you can't really control that. But what you can control is how you act. You can just have access to a lot of money and also kind of just realize that, that doesn't make you a better person than anyone else. But also, you can have access to a lot of money and, like, for example, like the spoiled kid, and have it go absolutely to your head. And you believe, well, actually, I am royalty and everyone else is a lesser than me. I don't know how else to say it, but everyone else is less than me. I am better than everyone else, and that is that. And that is final. Yeah, so the spoiled kid, unfortunately, was more like the latter and believed that. And all of his friends, including Ben, didn't really realize that. But Clarence, the subscriber, as he was kind of new to the friend group, kind of caught wind of this a little bit more. So today, the spoiled kid must have been extra cocky because he believed that he was above the law. So they went into the mall, and they're kind of just wandering around, trying to figure out what they want to do. And there's this one store that they happen to go into quite often. This is it's kind of like a variety store. It has clothing. It has like little quirky item type things. Like, it has a whole mix of different stuff. I don't know the exact store name, but I think you guys probably know what I'm talking about. Some kind of stores like that. You probably have something similar to that near you. So anyways, they're heading in, and what they normally do is, well, this is probably a little annoying to the store. This is probably a little bit annoying to the people who, run the store or whatever. However, a lot of times they just go in, and since most of them don't have credit cards or wallets, or if they have money, it's like $5 from grandma for your birthday and nothing else. So most of the time they just go in, play with everything, sometimes break things and they'll be like, oops, and then leave, right? But today, I think the spoiled kid just truly did believe that he was better than everyone else, and also above the law, as you shall see, I should say. So they're in there, and anyways, Clarence and Ben being the closer one of the two, or Ben being Clarence's closest friend out of the group, they're just chilling. I think they're just looking at shirts, and they're like, dang, this shirt's cool. Goes to the next shirt, dang, this shirt's cool, with no intention to buy it, because, like, I don't know, man. Like, grandma's $5 bill is not going to spread through all these shirts. They're trying to save it up for the new video game, right? So anyways, they're all chilling, and that's when, the spoiled kid comes up to the both of them and is like, boys, do you want that shirt? And they're like, yeah, like, we think it's really cool. And I don't know, they don't really think the spoiled kid's going to do anything at this point. They're just like, he didn't bring any money also. And the spoiled kid's like, watch this. And he literally takes the shirt and puts it under his shirt, like tries to hide it under his shirt. So at this point, right, Clarence and Ben are kind of just looking at the spoiled kid like, bro, what are you doing? He's like, actually, the law, I was doing a little investigation, and I think it only applies to the lower classes. I think I am exempt from the law, so I will just be taking this from the establishment. And don't worry, guys. Pick anything you want, and it will be yours. So here's the thing. Clarence definitely knows that this is a load of BS, but Ben and all of his friends are like, wait, actually? Which Clarence is like, bro, no. Not actually. You can't just take something because your dad has more money than another guy. Like, bro, what are you saying right now? But anyways, apparently that's ignored, and all the other kids are like, oh my God, like, really? We can get whatever we want? Like, this is the best day ever. And so Clarence is kind of like, oh God, like, guys, stop. We're going to get in trouble. And the spoiled kid's like, Clarence. How naive you are. What a silly little boy. I knew you were super naive when you joined the group. I just didn't want to say anything. Clarence, here's something you need to learn about life. It's just so ironic, bro, when some like 7th graders trying to teach some other 7th grader about life. It's like, hey, yo, how about you live some life first, bro? That's all I'm trying to say. But anyways, Clarence is like, okay. He's like, yes, Clarence, let me teach you a little something about life. So some of us are in different classes. For example, royalty and the peasants are really the two classes. And, well, you wouldn't be able to get away with this because, you're in the... How do I put this nicely without coming off as elitist or something? You're definitely a peasant, and I am a king, a.k.a. royalty. Or I should say I'm a prince. I will be a king one day. It's just kind of how it goes. I was watching some TV, and I had like the medieval whatever, kings, peasants, and it kind of just looked like the kings could do whatever they wanted. I saw a king walk over to one of those little medieval peasant shops, and he took what he wanted, and they were grateful, man. They were grateful that the king would even step foot. So, I mean, that's kind of how it works. Look, guys, whatever you want, it's on me. So Clarence is looking at them like, guys, you can't seriously be buying this. Yeah, but unfortunately, all of Clarence's friends were totally buying it. They were all like, dude, like, he's saying he can do it. Just let us get the stuff. I think, honestly, Clarence's friends, including Ben. Well, Ben, I think, was a little bit more reserved, but he was like, hey, man, let me at least try. I think all of Clarence's friends were old enough to kind of realize what he was saying was, or not Clarence, yeah, what the spoiled kid was saying was kind of like not true. However, I think a lot of them were just like so clouded by the fact that, you know, their friend is claiming that he can just get them what they want. Like, he can just get them what they want, and like they don't have to pay any money for it. And remember, these kids have no money, so they always go to the mall every single weekend just to look at stuff that they can't actually get. And I guess, like, you know, they're kind of like, for once, like, we can actually get the stuff that we're looking at. But Clarence knew a little bit better than this and is trying to like convince them, like, guys, we're gonna, like, it's not gonna work. We're going to get in big trouble. Our parents are never going to let us go to the mall again. This is shoplifting. Like, we can't be doing this. And all the friends are like, Clarence, bud, like, trust spoiled kid. We've known him for so long. He would never do us dirty, bro. He does his research. And Clarence is like, dude, did you not hear? His research was literally just him watching TV. And also, you don't think that guy's actually a king, do you? And they're looking at him and they're like, just wait. I think he'll pull something off. And Clarence is like, pull what off? What do you even mean? What? So, yeah. Spoiled Kid actually thinks he's a king. King is going to be the secret word of the day. So if you made it this far into the video, comment king down below. And while you're down in the comment section, check the pinned comment as there's a link to the Spotify account. And basically, these stories are uploaded as podcasts on Spotify, so make sure to listen to on there if you'd like to. And also, check out the 2 channels I've linked in the pinned comment. There's my other 2 channels. Please subscribe, and let's get right back to it. Also, if you're listening on Spotify, please rate the podcast 5 stars. I appreciate it. Peace. Anyways, let's get back to it. So, sure enough, Clarence is like, dude, this is not going to go well. Like, this is not going to go well. And he's, like, trying to, like, almost distance himself because eventually everyone gets what they want. And the spoiled kid looks so freaking goofy right now because he has like 6 shirts stuffed under his shirt. He has like a bunch of random crap shoved into his pockets. He has like a baseball bat up his sleeve. Like, it is the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen. Sure, like, definitely people who shoplift, like, what they'll do is they'll try and maybe pick something small and hide it. And guys, disclaimer, never shoplift. Like, never do it. Trust me. Like, it's a really bad idea. I've never done it. I don't say trust me because I've done it. I've never done it, but look, it's like if you're shoplifting like a $5 thing, like, you could get in a lot of trouble and it's not worth $5, bro. Trust me. Just don't take the thing at all. You don't really need it, bro. But anyways, right? So at this point, Clarence looks at the spoiled kid and is like, you can't be serious right now, right? Like, that's not actually how he plans to leave the establishment. Wait, that's actually how he plans to leave the establishment. Clarence was just so shocked that this kid was actually going to try and walk out of the store looking the way he did. Remember, he's like 16 shirts shoved under his shirt. He has like a bunch of stuff in his pants. He's like a baseball bat up his sleeve. He basically is just carrying a bunch of stuff out. Like, he's not even trying to hide it at this point, bro. He's literally just trying to walk out of the establishment with all that stuff. It's not going to work. And yeah, spoiler alert, Clarence was 100% right. So the spoiled kid's like, all right, guys, follow behind me. Follow the king. And everyone was kind of like, okay, like, I don't know if this... Okay, so I feel like when he was actually trying to walk out the establishment, everyone else was like looking at the spoiled kid, looking how ridiculous he was. And then I feel like the whole they get free stuff that was like clouding their judgment kind of like started to dissipate. And they started to realize that reality is not going to allow this to happen. Because they really noticed this because as they're approaching the door, right, they watched some guy behind the cash register stare them down. Like, just look at them intensely. And I think some of the kids in line were starting to become a little bit antsy and a little bit nervous and probably second guessing themselves because they're like, spoiled kid, are you sure about this? And he's like, yeah, guys, like, chill the freak out, bro. I've done my research. And at this point, Clarence is like, okay. And, like, Clarence very begrudgingly, like, follows behind them. Clarence really should have just been like, guys, I'm going to meet you out there in a second and just let them get caught and be separate from the group. But, yeah, the spoiled kid walks right past the cash register and starts to make it towards the door when obviously, like, you know, if you have something in a lot of stores, they'll put tags on items and they'll have, like, one of those little, devices at the door that will start ringing if the tags are still on. So yeah, immediately you hear meh 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 meh, and it's like not even like, oh, like, is there anything hidden on you? Like, obviously the people in the store walk over and they see the spoiled kid decked out head to toe, stuffed in every freaking crevice and pocket full of their merchandise that has obviously not been paid for. And they're just like, so like some guy comes up to them and is like, oh, okay, guys, I need you to follow me. And they're all petrified at this point. And like the spoiled kid's like, but I'm allowed to do this. And the guy's like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm a king, bro. What? And the guy's like, dude, like, what do you, no, what? Like, I think the guy was like genuinely just completely thrown off guard, because normally when you catch someone shoplifting, they're either going to completely deny it, be like, oh my God, how did this item get in my pocket? I obviously didn't put it there. The item must have, I don't know, fallen off of the shelf and just randomly fell into my pocket. OMG, what a coincidence. Oh, there's another item in my other pocket? Wow, this must be like the rarest probability case ever, because another item must have fallen out of that shelf and into my other pocket. Wow, so crazy. Or they'll just accept it and be like, okay, yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I'll just accept the punishment. But he's never heard someone be like, well, actually, I can steal from your store because I'm a king. So the worker kind of just looks at them, because he's normally like, there's a procedure, like if you find someone shoplifting, you go to the local mall cop, whatever, and then you hand them off to them, and they figure out what they want to do, and then they meet up with the manager of the store later, whatever, right? But they've never had to deal with royalty before. I'm just kidding, guys. So sure enough, the guy's like, okay, that's cool. You still need to come with me. And I think the spoiled kid, like, part of him knew that, like, what he was saying was completely fake. But I think another part of him was kind of hoping that, like, it would somehow work. Like, he would just say, I'm a king. And somehow the guy would be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. You're totally fine. Take all that stuff. Take my purse as well, or wallet. Take my shoes. And also, can I get an autograph, sir? Like, I think that was, like, a part of the spoiled kid was really hoping that that's how it was going to go down. And spoiler alert, that is not how it went down. So yeah, the spoiled kid, Ben, Clarence, and everyone else in the group they're being escorted to the mall cop, which is like a few stores down, and everyone is like freaking out. They're just like, oh my God, oh my God. So eventually they get to the mall cop, and the mall cop looks at them and is like, okay, I'll take it from here. And so sure enough, the mall cop's like, gentlemen, what on earth are we doing? What are we doing? What's going on? And the spoiled kid's like, oh, they made me do this. I didn't want to do any of this, and they said they would be mean to me if I didn't put all this stuff into my shirt. And then another guy's like, the what? Like, what are you saying? Like, bro, you said that, like, since you were royalty, aka a king, that you could literally take whatever you wanted and ask if we wanted anything. So when we asked for something, you put it under your shirt. The spoiled kid's like, he's lying. He made me do this. Officer, arrest them and save me. And Clarence is like, in Clarence's head, he knows that this is going to be a very bad thing. Like, he knows it's not a net positive that they got caught or whatever. However, part of Clarence is like a little happy because he's like, okay, finally, the spoiled kid's true colors are actually being exposed. So the mall cop looks at them and it's like, boys, look, I'm not going to arrest you or anything. I'm not going to like fine you. I'm not going to do anything crazy. You're obviously all very young. But what you got to know is you can't just be going into stores and taking stuff. Like, you just can't be doing that. And look, maybe if the other officer was on duty, you guys would have gotten some actual punishment. So just realize that you're all very lucky. Look, I'm going to talk to the store manager. There's a chance you guys are not going to be allowed back in there, and I want you to know that. However, you guys are free to go for now, but just never do this ever again. And if I see you guys in here again for something like that, there will be no mercy. And they're all like, thank you, sir. Like, I appreciate it. Like, thank you. You're the greatest. I love you. Bye. Bye, Mom. And then they all like get out there and they leave. And they're all walking out in like complete silence. Because here's the thing, bro. The spoiled kid literally just threw them all under the bus. And Clarence has known for the longest, in Clarence's head, he's just screaming, told ya, bro. Told ya. What have I been telling you? this is what I've been saying. Told you. Like, he's like, bro, I've told you for the longest time, dude. This kid is the worst. But I think at this point, everyone else is starting to realize and truly realized that this kid was not a good kid, that he was truly a spoiled kid, right? Because, like, before, his shenanigans would always kind of, like, rub them the wrong way, but they were never, like, thrown under the bus. And this is really serious. Like, they had no idea what the punishment for stealing was. For all they knew, the punishment was literally the electric chair. Like, for all they knew at this point. But what they did know was that the spoiled kid told the cops that he didn't want to do this and it was all their fault, which is just simply not true. Like, sure, they went along with it, so they have a little bit of fault, but it was literally the spoiled kid's idea, and he said, guys, I can do this. Choose whatever you want. It's on me. Obviously not their fault, and the spoiled kid is definitely not in the right on this. So, so they go home, and they don't tell any of their moms about this, because they just have a feeling that that would not end well. You know what I mean? But the next day, they all go out to, like, where they normally sit at the park benches, and, let's just say that they were all pretty mad at the spoiled kid. And, for the rest of that summer, they all kind of hung out together. But after that fateful day, like, people would always be like, oh, I'm actually busy. Oh, I'm actually doing things. And what actually would be happening would be, like, I don't know, Ben and Clarence would, like, go off and do something together. Or, like, the group fragmented basically all away from the spoiled kid. So it turned into a bunch of little groups that would meet on their own, basically just without the spoiled kid. And you guys might be thinking, oh, well, that's a little bit mean. But bro, the spoiled kid literally tried to turn them into the police for something that he did. Like, I get it. You gotta drop that kid. He's the worst.